Hello, everyone. My name is Branislav, and today I'll do a short presentation of an embezzlement case known as the Alden Shoe Company and the convicted person, in this case known as Richard Hayar. Richard was the former chief financial officer of Alden Shoe Company based in Massachusetts. The company was founded in 1884 and specialized in handcrafted men's leather, boots, and dress shoes. Richard started working there from 1887 and worked his way out in becoming one of the top management positions in the company. From 2011 to 2019, he was accused and later found guilty in embezzling 30 million US dollars from the company. He was charged for wire fraud, unlawful monetary transaction, and false tax report. He committed these crimes by writing company checks, transferring funds from company account to his personal account and accounts of someone he knew. The primary reason for embezzlement was his self satisfaction. It was discovered that he spent the money funding luxury travels, buying expensive items, and also investing into his fiancée personal TV shows. The case was initiated after IRS investigation. They discovered that Richard never reported all the proceeds of his embezzlement in his annual tax report. From 2014 to 2019, he failed to pay over 5 million US dollars in taxes, and that's how they discovered his company embezzlement. Later on, he was charged for additional 30 million US dollars that he illegally took from the company. He pled guilty and got sentenced to 6 years of jail time and 60 million US dollars for restitution and penalties. Three major internal control principles that were violated in this case are establishment of responsibility, which I consider as abuse of power, documentation procedures. It's very obvious that lack of documentation control brought open up space for Richard to commit this embezzlement, and independent internal verification. It's unclear how internal control department haven't caught him earlier in this case. So I'm gonna go individually each single one. Establishment of responsibility. In this scenario, Richard used his position to commit the embezzlement. As a top management personnel, he wasn't monitored by other departments, not even from the board of directors or CEO, which initially helped him commit this fraud. The documents provide evidence that transaction and events have occurred. Documents such as company checks should always be forwarded to the accounting department to ensure the recording of the transaction. It's unknown how Richard was able to write these checks and cash them out without accounting department knowing for them for all those years. And the last one, independent internal verification. It is very obvious that no audit was conducted from 2014 to 2019 or any kind of periodical verification of records. Otherwise, this wire fraud that he was charged for would be discovered much earlier than it was. And now we come to the part where I would suggest some preventive measures in order for a company to avoid any similar cases in the future. A first one would be establishing an effective internal control department in the company. That internal control department would periodically check and control the financial department as well as other departments of the company. Second would be limiting chief financial officer duties and roles. I personally think that CFO shouldn't be writing any company checks or issuing any monetary checks without control and recording of accounting department. It is very unclear how the yearly financial statements haven't shown any suspicion on excessive spendings that Richard committed over years. The last one would be hiring an external audit company. The external audit company would cross check all the documents and recordings, as well as essential financial statements of the company. Now we come to the works cited part where I used 3 web page sources. And at the end, I appreciate your time and mahalo